Let's get to it. Let's go. We back. 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 Run my theme music. What's up? What's up? What's up, gang? Welcome back to The Assist. This is episode 5. My name is Dylan, and I am the host of The Assist, where we are bringing you closer to the Baton Rouge Zydeco and your New Orleans Pelicans. The Assist is a part of the No Network, where we desire to bring casual fans all across the Gulf Coast closer to the teams that you love to cheer. If you're a Saints fan, welcome home. Spencer Rattler, you're up. If you're a Tulane Roll, cool, smooth wave fan, you're home. If you're an LSU Tiger fan, you're home. If you're a Pelicans fan, you're home. If you're a Zydeco fan, and so on and so on, rugby gold. Listen, I'm hip now. The Olympics has turned me on to the rugby vibes. You're home. If you're looking for your one-stop shop to cover all sports happening within the Gulf Coast, congratulations. You're now rocking with the best. Let's go. I'm a little bit rusty because I took some time off, to be with my wife, be with my daughter, be with the fam, and enjoy this summer a little bit. My daughter's going back to school, going back to the first grade. Prayers appreciated. The first grade ain't no joke, man. She's starting to need us less, and I don't think I like it that much. I know you see me repping. You know what time it is. You see me repping. 10-game winning streak. We outside numbers 2 in our division. We you thought it was over? Don't let the Reds catch fire, gang. Don't let the Reds catch fire, gang. Stop talking about trading Jonathan India. Nah. We're here. We're here. Don't pay attention. But that's not what we're here for today. The New Orleans Pelicans released their 2024-2025 schedule today at 3 p.m. And boy, oh boy, did they give us a stimulus package for these first 10 games. We start out the season at home on Wednesday, October 23rd against the Chicago Bulls. Will we have Alonzo Ball sighting? Will Lonzo Ball be bringing himself back to New Orleans? I'm excited to see it. We know Kobe White, he lights up like a Christmas tree every time he sees the New Orleans Pelicans, but I think we got something for him this time, folks. I think we got something for the boy this time. We got this dude named DeJounte Murray, because, by the way, we haven't had a conversation. We haven't had an episode since that trade went down. If you didn't know, the New Orleans Pelicans acquired DeJounte Murray from the Atlanta Hawks, and they gave up Larry Nance Jr., much love to you, brother. They gave up to one of my good guys. Shout out to Chris Connor, a.k.a. the Impatient Bull. One of his favorite sons, Dyson Daniels. Shout out to you, the Australian mate. More life to you, and they gave us some picks and some other stuff to get DeJounte Murray, a perennial all-star type of level player, someone who can not just facilitate, but that can play lockdown defense, can also be whatever you need him to be. Now, I'm not looking for the Atlanta Hawks version of DeJounte Murray to show up in New Orleans. I need that San Antonio Spurs version of DeJounte Murray. You see, when he got to Atlanta, he started to chill a little bit on defense. I don't need that DeJounte. I needed DeJounte that was causing havoc in San Antonio with his wingspan, playing in the passing lanes, making somebody feel like they were on Alcatraz defensively anytime he was in front of them. I need that DeJounte this year. I'm excited to see it, folks. I'm excited to see it. Welcome. And honestly, if I'm being honest, DeJounte just feels like a New Orleans type of dude. Like somebody just got it out the mud, just a savage. He just feels like he represents Louisiana, like the type of dude that's going to be around for a while. I feel like I haven't seen him in any other gear other than Pelicans gear since the trade. Somebody can correct me on that, but feels like bro has gotten his hands on the entire merchandise set of the New Orleans Pelicans, and he's just got it on rotation after rotation after rotation. Him and Herb Jones, they seem to be the type of guys that's going to wear some free gear because they're going to try and save all their money for when they retire. So I'm excited to see him and Herb Jones in the backcourt. We'll talk a little bit about that more on who should start, things like that of that nature. But I'm going to get back to the schedule. So they start the first 10 games out with 5 on the road and 5 at home. And how many teams are not playoff teams? We got Chicago, non-playoff team. We've got Portland twice, non-playoff team. Golden State, non-playoff team. Then we got Portland again down on November 4th, which is another non-playoff team. So in the first 10 games, the Pels have 6 games against teams that were not in the playoffs last year. This is the best way you can even believe of starting off a season. Now, we know Chicago, as I said before, they got Kobe White, the Pels killer. Anytime he sees a Pelicans jersey, he turns into like prime Steve Nash or something, just shooting from all over the place, dropping dimes, just crazy. They also got Lonzo Ball, who's finally, and I'm praying for the brother. I really, really, really want to see you back on the floor, Lonzo. Really, really, really want to see it bad. He should be a go on opening night, and I'm hoping to see him back on the floor. But I think still, you got Kobe White, the killer, the Pels killer. As I said, we got DeJounte Murray. If we get San Antonio Spurs DeJounte Murray, I'm not worried about Kobe White. Zach LaVine, we don't even know what he's going to be doing in Chicago. One moment they're saying we love him, he's top tier talent. We know what y'all doing. Y'all just trying to flub up his trade market. We not stupid. We was born at night, but not last night, Chicago. Come on now, get it together. And then the next moment they're saying we need to get this guy out of here by any means necessary. We know what time it is. Y'all trying to trick us, but we not worried about him either. Because who we got? First team all defense. Shout out to Tony Allen. First team all defense. Mr. Fisherman himself, Herb Jones. Who? Herb Jones to play against Zach LaVine. And on top of that, you've got a motivated Brandon Ingram on the second line. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about Brandon Ingram's situation in a second as well, because the reports have come out that the Pelicans are looking to go into the season with Brandon Ingram on the roster with an expiring contract. Are they playing with rat poison there? We'll talk about that in a second as well. But going back to the schedule, after you get out of that game, you got another game against the Portland Trailblazers. You got a double header against the Portland Trailblazers where you play them on Friday, October 25th, and then you get Saturday off and you play them again on October 27th. I feel like that is a blessing because, I mean, we don't even know really who Portland is per se. I mean, they just drafted Klingon, and then they got Scoot Henderson. We know they got Scoot. We know they got Anthony Simons. We know they've got, Sharp. They got some young talent, but I still feel like they aren't really sure of who they want to be. I think they're still figuring it out. I think early in the season is when you can catch a young team like that off guard and just take advantage of it, for lack of better verbiage. So I like us to sweep that 2-game series with Portland, and then we go to Golden State. Now, here is where it could go either way, people. You see, because I don't know if y'all watched. I said watched. My whole accent came out. I don't know if you watched the Olympics, but Steph Curry is still Steph Curry. The man hit one of the greatest shots I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'm not going to pull a greenie and say it is the greatest shot I've ever seen, but I'm going to try and put the picture in here somewhere. There is a moment where Steph Curry has Kevin Durant, first ballot Hall of Famer, and LeBron James, second. The second his name comes up on the ballot, they're not even going to think, unanimous. Wide open. And he shoots it over two guys. Do you know when he shot that shot, there was never a moment in my mind that said, oh, that's a bad shot. In my head, I was like, it's going in. It's going in. So I can't say we're going to sweep Golden State. Excuse me. Because Golden State has Steph Curry. I know they don't have Klay Thompson anymore. I know Kevin Looney's on the outskirts. I know all these different things. But you have Steph Curry. There are certain players that can, I think I saw CJ say this one time, CJ McCollum. He said there are certain players that are like planets, and then I think he said something like along the lines of like, I can't even remember how he said it, but basically Steph Curry is a legitimate, like, he's like the sun. I think that might be how CJ said it. Steph Curry is a sun type of player where he can move planets around him. And when you got a guy that is that talented on your team, I can't count you out on any night. It depends on how he feels going into the season. Draymond is going to be Draymond. He's going to try and get in your head. He's going to play stout defense. He's going to step up and take that Zion matchup out the gate. I like Zion early in the season. Fresh Zion is a deadly Zion if he comes into camp motivated. all reports show us that he looks like he's in health. He's in good health. He's in good shape. He looks like he's prepared more than he's ever looked. Could this be the year that Zion is not like a 64 Chevy and you got to pump him a couple of times, pause, but you got to, crank it, a couple of times and try and get it going, or is he going to come in like that, or is he going to come in like that Lambo, ready to rock out soon as off rip, ready to go? I got a feeling we're going to see a motivated Zion from the get-go, because for all whatever, the Pelicans, David Griffin, the front office, DeJounte Murray, and so on have come out this offseason and said, Zion, this is your team here. You're the guy. So now that there is no, is it Brandon Ingram's team? Is it Zion? Now that there's no longer that, Zion, hey, guess what? On October 29th and 30th, you're going to get to go up against a fresh Draymond Green. I know he's a veteran, but veterans are historically better at the beginning of the season because they're still fresh. The injuries haven't settled in yet. You're going to get to go up against a fresh Draymond Green, and you're going to get the opportunity to show us what time it is. Are you really that dude? Are you that dude that's going to be playing for the USA in 2028 in LA? Are you that dude that's going to be first team All NBA this year? Are you that dude that's going to carry us to the playoffs, not to play in? You get an early opportunity to show us what time it is. I am so excited for this matchup because I really believe not only do we have an opportunity to win, but we also have an opportunity to see what Zion truly is about, what time he really is on. I can't wait to see it. We brought back our entire coaching staff, so nothing is changing from a systematic standpoint. The entire coaching staff's back. The entire team is basically back outside of JV. Shout out to you, JV. He's in DC. There's been reports coming out that he may be moving again. That's not my team. If you're interested in that, go follow a DC podcast. But, outside of JV, everything else around kind of stuck the same. Obviously, Larry Nance, Dyson Daniels, but you've put in spots and places to kind of play those roles. I think Jeremiah Robertson Earl, JRE. I always think of his dad, Lester Earl. So, because Baton Rouge legend, got to honor the Baton Rouge legends. Glen Oak, stand up. I see y'all out there. But I always think of his dad when I think of his name. That's why I always mess his name up. But you got him to kind of play that Larry Nance role. And then as far as Dyson goes, you got DeJounte. So you basically you leveled up. You went and got what you hope Dyson will become someday. So I think you've gotten better there. And for people who've been thinking we've gotten worse, you can't trade a Dyson for a DeJounte and get worse. It just doesn't work like that. And as far as Larry Nance, we spent all of last season talking about how he's playing hurt, how he doesn't look like himself. Now that we've traded him, we've gotten worse. I don't understand, y'all. Let's get it together. Let's I know the Saints have gotten us all jaded, but let's reel it back in. We're gonna be all right. And then we go on to Indiana after that Golden State series. Indiana's where it gets dicey because we know Tyrese Halliburton is coming off of a gold medal. He's gonna be motivated. They've got what's his name? Not guy from Toronto. My brain is blanking on him right now. They got him at the 4 spot. He's ready to roll. Miles Turner's ready to roll. They just signed the guy from Gonzaga to they re-signed him. And they've got the old faithful TJ McConnell who's going to finish out his career there. They are ready to hoop, and they're going to run fast. The entire game. It's going to kill me until I figure out this guy's name. I got to find his name now because I don't like disrespecting, because he is actually a legit all-star. So it's disrespectful to him that I'm blanking on his name. What is this, man? What is your name? What is your name? I got to find it. I can't do it to him, y'all. I know this is like y'all are all good at this and you're big time, but I like Pascal Siakam. There you go, Siakam, depending on how your mama raised you. Like, I can't disrespect the guy by acting like I don't know his name. I know you, Pascal. Much love to you. Great hooper. But they got Pascal, they got Tyrese, they got Miles, and so on and so on. They're ready to run. They didn't even play Benedict Mathurin that much last year, and he is a dog. So that's where it's going to get real dicey. Are you going to be able to lock down and play defense? We know Indiana has no desire to play defense, so I'm expecting Zion to go for about 40. I'm expecting Brandon Ingram to go for about 20, and I'm expecting for it to be a high-scoring game, but who's going to get that one stop? And the beauty of having DeJounte Murray is this. In the fourth quarter, he's a grown man. And I am so excited because he could win you games not just by scoring in the fourth quarter, but by getting that stop you need in the fourth quarter. And that's been the weakness of the Pels for how long now? How long have we been talking about that? So they've got them, and I think they'll win that one. I honestly think they'll win that one. And then they go to Atlanta where they play against Trae Young and Zachariah Rizikar. Sorry, hopefully I'm saying your name right. The first overall pick in this year's draft. Trae Young's been moving a little different. So I don't know what to expect from Atlanta. This man just came out and basically told his new teammate, hey, bro, everybody already said you kind of a role player. He didn't even mention him by name. He mentioned Sar before he mentioned his own new teammate. Maybe I need to stop watching just clips and y'all can correct me in the comments if he said more than that. But I just saw him just basically belittle the potential future of his team if he leaves the city. I I don't know what to expect from Atlanta, man. I don't know. I know that Dyson is going to do great to mesh with Trey because Dyson is 6'8" and he could defend where Trey can't do any of that. And Dyson isn't DeJounte. Dyson can play without the ball. He actually prefers to play without the ball and slash more. He might be a better fit next to Trey, but still, something is just off about Atlanta. Maybe y'all could tell me in the chat what I'm missing, or maybe somebody could connect me to a podcast in Atlanta, and maybe we could have a dual pod, and you could talk me through what I'm missing. But I just I'm not believing in Atlanta these days. So I think that's a dub on that one. Maybe I'm biased. Then we got Portland again. I'm telling y'all, the league gave us a stimulus package with these first 10 games. We played Portland 3 times. That's if you play your cards right, you should have 3 wins just off that. Just off of that, you should have 3 wins because you are naturally the more talented and the more experienced team. That's 3 wins off of that, so I'm going to call that a dub. And then you go to Cleveland. That's where it gets dicey. You got to deal with Spider and the crew. And Jared Allen's back there. Evan Mobley's back there. And I ain't even going to mention the other dude, Garland. You was supposed to be in New Orleans, bro. But I digress. Darius Garland's back there. They got their whole squad back, and they're all re-signed, and they're going to be there for the long haul. And they're coming off of a playoff run, and they went to the playoffs without Spider, so they're going to come looking for revenge. And also, I don't know if you've been noticing, but Spider's been getting left off of everyone's USA team for 2028, and I saw him take offense to that on Twitter a couple of days ago. Let's get something out of the way. All of these guys are the most talented basketball players in the world. So there has to be something minimal that separates them. There's something, because they all can do almost the same thing as each other. I mean, obviously there are certain anomalies, like no one's shooting like Steph. No one's a 6'8" freight train that runs like a gazelle like LeBron. I mean, you got certain people that could become that, but as currently set, no one's KD. There's guys like KD, like Wemby could become a KD hybrid, and no one's Wemby. Let's just be honest about that. Wemby's like KD mixed with Kristaps Porzingis. Not as good as both, but, has the same stuff as both mixed together. So, you have your outliers. No one's Zion. No one's a 6'6" guy that probably runs a 4'4" and jumps out. So they're outliers. But for the most part, the entire league is kind of filled with the greatest athletes on the planet. So what is that thing that separates them? I would say it has to be the mental. And there has to be something mentally kind of different about an individual to separate them and put him in that ethos of the greats. I think Jason Tatum, and I'm going off on a tangent for a bit, I think Jason Tatum, we're going to see a different Jason Tatum this year because of the mental that he just went through in the Olympics. But Donovan Mitchell is being disrespected by all accounts as far as the Olympics teams coming up. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to start the year off trying to remind us who he is. After all, he didn't even play in the playoffs. So I think he's going to, and every time we play Donovan Mitchell, he has feels like a career high anyway. So we call Kobe White the Bulls killer. Shoot, what is Donovan Mitchell? He's the barrier. He's the mortuary. If Kobe is the killer, Donovan Mitchell is the embalmer. Basically, he's the dude just cuts us up and dissects and he's methodical with just killing us. I think he had his first career high against us. He dropped 40 something on us his first year. So you got Donovan Mitchell back in Cleveland. That game makes me a little nervous. And then you end your first 10 games of skit on the road in Atlanta against Franz Wagner and Paolo. Paolo is there on everybody's list. Paolo is the next one. I mean, Paolo is Carmelo Anthony all over again. That's the best way I can put it. He's Carmelo. And if you've ever wondered if Carmelo could exist in this modern NBA, look at Paolo. That's Carmelo Anthony all over again. My eyes can't see anything but Carmelo, from the braids to the charisma to everything. I mean, where he's from, the whole nine. The dude is just, I mean, he's from Seattle, obviously, but feels like he's from New York, man. He carries himself like that. It's mellow. It's mellow all over. So we know what time he's on. And Franz Wagner is elite. Elite. And I haven't even talked about their guards. So I think Anthony Black is going to have a great year for them in Orlando, personally. I mean, 6'8", facilitating guard that can get to the bucket. Kind of gives you a little bit of Tyreke Evans without the force, if that makes sense. He has the feel of Tyreke, but not the force that Tyreke plays with. And so my prediction for the first 10 games is, I believe we're going to come out of those first 10 7-3. I see 7-3 for us coming out of those first 10. My 3 losses are Cleveland, Orlando, and I think we lose one of the Golden State games. I think Cleveland, Orlando, and one of the Golden State games. That's my first 3. The hardest stretch for me that I'm seeing is that 49 to 61 game stretch where we play playoff team after playoff team. It starts January 29th and it goes to February 28th. It's a 12-game stretch of straight dogs. You go Dallas, playoff team, NBA Finals team, Boston, Finals champions, Denver twice. Then you got Sacramento. Then you got Oklahoma City. I mean, Brandon Ingram still got PTSD from the Lou Dort syndrome. My bro was injured too, by the way. That put some respect on his name. Then you got the Kings twice. Then you got Dallas again. Then you got to see an alien that's motivated. Wemby. And he's going to have a sensei with him this time. Chris Paul. I know Chris Paul is old, but we haven't seen Chris Paul ever. I was trying to think. We've never seen Chris Paul with the Wemby type talent. I know the only thing that's going through Chris Paul's mind is, why couldn't this be 5 years ago? I would get a chip if this was 5 years ago. Wemby and Chris Paul is terrifying, y'all. I mean, also you got Devin Vassell on the other side. You got Keldon Johnson, who's but he's still a body. And then, I'm just saying. Then you got San Antonio back to back, and then you got Phoenix back to back. Phoenix is going to be better this year. I know y'all saw last year and y'all were like, they're trash. No. You cannot play as good as Devin Booker and Kevin Durant played with Steve Kerr as their coach in the Olympics and then go back to Phoenix and be trash again. No. I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. You can't pay me to see it. This is going to be the most important stretch in the entire season to me, because this is the sink or swim stretch. You're going to be going up against playoff teams the entire way. San Antonio is a fringe playoff team to me. I think they make the play-in this year. Like, sorry, I'm getting over this little sickness, but you got to deal with Wemby 2 times in a row. Good thing is at home. So I mean, you get to rest, you get to have your own treatment, and then get back active. But it's still Wemby, and he's still a puppy. So the bumps and the bruises heal faster when you're a puppy. That's all I'm saying. So that stretch to me is going to be the hardest stretch, and it's 12 games. If we come out of that stretch 8-4, we Gucci. If we come out of it 6-6, I'm happy, because that's tough. That's the toughest stretch to me in the entire season. I'm excited to see what happens, and all of it's the whole entire season is gonna boil down to what Brandon Ingram we get. We know reports have come out that he wanted to get a long-term contract from the $40 to $50 million per year range, and the Pelicans weren't willing to do that, and rightfully so, man. I mean, the guy, yes, he has great talent, but he's never fully healthy. And we have not seen his fit next to Zion yet, who is the future and the present of the team. So you don't want to just pay a guy to pay a guy when you've got Trey Murphy on the bench, who you're going to have to pay in a second. You want to make logical decisions. And so I can't blame him for doing that. Now, what I did not expect is for his market, is for his market to be as dead as it is. I did not have that on my bingo card. I thought someone would take a flyer on Brandon. Maybe I don't know. I did not expect it. I just saw Bleacher Report came out with a three-team trade that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Today they came out with a trade between Portland, LA, and us. We were getting Anthony Simons, Robert Williams, and Christian Wood, and that was it. I think we got like one pick, and then got LA got some pieces from us. I don't remember how to trade. Let me see if I can pull it up. So LA got Brandon. So LA gets Brandon back. We get Anthony Simons, Robert Williams III, and Christian Wood. Robin Williams has not played more than 60 games but once in his life. Anthony Simons is a duplicate piece of CJ McCollum. And then what are we doing there? And then you've got Portland, we get Rui Hachimura, solid. Jordan Hawkins, okay, listen, I know he had a bad summer league, guys. I know y'all wanted me to talk about it. Jordan, listen, if you watch this, which I know you don't, I need you to show up and show out, brother. You got us Hawk fans out here looking goofy right now. But I'm riding. I'm riding with you, brother. I'm riding with you, brother. I'ma stand beside him. And then they getting D'Angelo Russell and a second round pick and another second round pick. They getting a lot. Portland's getting a lot. If I'm New Orleans, I hang the phone up. Period. Why do I want Robert Williams when I barely can keep Zion healthy? Why do I want Christian Wood when I don't even know how he's going to show up that day? One day he might look like he's a premier all-star. The next day he might look like, why didn't we put him in the G League? Anthony Simons, I can see that. He's young, but then what do you do with CJ? I mean, that's a duplicate piece. I mean, that's a heck of a second unit. I mean, Anthony Simons, Trey Murphy, Jose, that's a tough second unit. But still, what do you do? That trade does not excite me. I don't see that trade and think, oh yeah, we lit. It's time. No, that trade just says, okay, just keep Brandon at this point if that's the trade. Now, mind you, I think Brandon, if we were going to trade him, he should have been gone a long time ago. But he's still here. So I think if you were going to trade Brandon Ingram, you should have traded him last summer. But again, you know what? One thing we got mad at the Pelicans for doing a lot of in the previous regime, or not doing a lot of in the previous regime, that they're doing a lot of now, is, with the previous regime, with the Dale Demps regime, there was a lot of turnover all the time. There was like a revolving door. And then as far as players go, then David Griffin, that's why Anthony Davis could never get himself settled, because it seems like outside of him and Drew, everybody else was always changing. Now this regime, they're kind of holding on to the players too long. So it's like you want to find that happy medium where it's like when we have an opportunity to strike, we think with the future, we think for the future with the present in mind. Does that make sense? Like you think, okay, this could allow me. I know Brandon Ingram is talented. Has Brandon Ingram maxed out his capabilities? Was Phoenix Suns Brandon Ingram the pinnacle Brandon Ingram? And if your answer is yes, do you think the playing style you saw from Phoenix Suns, Brandon Ingram, Phoenix Suns playoff series, if you guys don't know, Brandon Ingram is conducive to play next to the Zion? At that point, notice I said the Zion because he is the guy. Anyway, at that point, if your answer is no, I mean, why don't you just make a move? But that's, hindsight is 2020. Nonetheless, we're going into this season with, this is my starting lineup. I got DeJounte Murray at the 1, Herb at the 2, ooh, Brandon at the 3, Zion at the 4, And the center spot is still up for debate. I didn't want to really make this podcast until I figured out who was actually going to be our center, but I guess it's going to be Daniel Theus. I got in a full-fledged argument with somebody over Twitter. They were like, "It doesn't matter who starts, man. It doesn't matter, man. What matters is who finished games, man. He can play 8 minutes, okay, man. Why do I have a starting center on my team that I feel comfortable with only playing 8 minutes? That does not sit well with me, my brother. I don't get excited about the ideal of knowing that my starting center, I'm playing him 8 minutes and then, or whatever you said, 20 minutes or something like that, and then no. Usually you want your starter to be your closer. I Obviously I feel like we're gonna close with small ball lineups, but still, man, if it was me, I would start Yves Massey. I mean, the young boy showed out at the summer league. He looked like he's got a lot of potential. I mean, shoot. Far be it that he has a Derek Lively meteoric rise this season, and you got something there. You bring Daniel Theus in to be your guy that relieves him when he's acting like a young puppy. Far be it from that. But again, maybe I'm just, maybe I'm off. Y'all can tell me in the chat if I'm crazy. If I'm crazy, I'm crazy. You know me. I like to talk to y'all. Talk to me. So my starting lineup is that six man coming off the bench is CJ. I know a lot of people, I mean, especially my brother Everett, argues me down probably once a week. He ain't coming off the bench, Dylan. He's a veteran, Dylan. He ain't coming off. If Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, all first ballot Hall of Famers can come off the bench, Christian James McCollum can come off the bench. Period. Close book. So I got CJ coming off sixth man, Trey coming off seventh man, Jose coming off third, Daniel Theus coming off fourth, and then you can mix in JRE and actually that's a lie. I'm bringing Hawk in third as that eighth man. Then I'm gonna play JRE and Jose periodically as the matchup allots it. That's my lineup. That's what I'm looking at, and I think people have been saying low low 40s for the I don't see a low 40 win season. I just can't see it. I don't think you bring the same team back with the motivated Brandon Ingram, because last time I checked, Brandon Ingram's about his money. And because he's about his money, boy's going to come ready to hoop. Because, what do you throw a fit? Okay, we already tried to trade you. No one traded you. Nobody wanted you. We tried that. So you got no choice but to hoop. And when you hoop, who knows? We might circle the block and be like, yeah, we can't let you go, brother. Here go this bread. Sorry for hitting the mic. Or if you hoop, somebody else might see and be like, yeah, we got to go get him stat. So B.I. is going to hoop. You don't have to worry about what you... B.I. might play through a broken leg and still drop 20 because he's motivated. The dude said, and I quote, "There's a lot of money going around out here. I want some of that." That's my Brandon Ingram lingo. I'm trying to talk like him. But, he's coming ready for buckets. Zion is the guy now, and Zion's coming back motivated because he's already felt what it feels like to be that dog. And then you got DeJounte Murray, who's still trying to prove the league wrong. Herb is going to be Herb no matter what day of the week it is. He's just going to be Herb. Then you got Trey Murphy coming off the bench, who's getting better and better and better. 50 plus. I'm calling 50 plus. Dylan, you crazy. Yeah, whatever. 50 plus. Playoff season. You got, the league gave you a stimulus package with the first 10. They're giving you a good runway to get rolling. You're not on TV a lot. You're on TV a little bit, but not a lot. Your first 29 games, you're only on TV 4 times. So you don't got to deal with the public, national media as much watching you. You can go beneath the surface and just move and groove and make. I'm thinking 50 plus. I'm thinking you in the playoffs. I'm thinking, barring injury, Zion's All-NBA this year. Barring injury. He's too good. And I know barring injury is such a dumb thing to say, because barring injury for him is like asking me not to eat a cookie when it's out there, because I'm a chocolate chip cookie addict. I'm going to eat the cookie always. It's just a reality of my life. And it feels like every time we get excited about Zion, the reality is injury is lurking. And so I'm just, God, please, I know you. I've seen what you've done for others. Joel Embiid's healthiness. Would you do it again in New Orleans, God? I know the voodoo situation, but I am a servant of the high God. You go into darkness. In Jesus' name. I believe this year we're going to see a healthy Zion. And that was not me playing. That's me being serious. So, I got us winning. Ooh. Dang, I got to put a number on it. I got us winning 53 to 55 games. I got us right around there. I'm lying. I got us at 50. No, I got us at 53. Golly. I got us at 53. Dylan, stand on it. 53 wins this year. Playoff this year. Because why? Everything's riding on this season. Everything is riding on this season. This is a make or break year for Willie Green. Show us what you got, Chief. David Griffin, make a break. Show us what you got, Chief. Brandon Ingram, you need the bag. Show us what you got, Chief. Zion, it's time. You the guy now. Show us what you got, Chief. CJ, let me know why you should be still starting if you start. Everyone has got a point to prove. So when everybody's got a point to prove, go prove it. This has been another episode of The Assist. Once again, I'm your host, Dylan. I'm going to do better about dropping episodes on y'all because I love y'all so much. And we need to talk about my Zydeco. They just re-signed MJ Graham. If you don't know, the boy is the one. Mans was coaching and getting points at the same time. When you seeing somebody like that? Last time we saw that was Bill Russell, I think. Dude was doing it in the hockey league. I digress. We're going to talk about that later. Shout out to the Zydeco. Season starting soon. I can't wait to pull up to the Raising Cane's Riverfront, River Center and get hype for the boys. Love y'all. Tune in next week for another episode of The Assist. Hee hee hee.